Dear Ian at Motorcraft Adventure Developments in Doncaster, UK, flag of the United Kingdom. Ian, as you are the owner and the director of your company, and I think you can be a fair man when I've met you in the past and spoke to you on the phone, I am happy to speak to you one more last time on the phone today if you wish to. I will be available all day today from 11 AM onwards until midnight tonight if you would like to discuss going forward about the MAN truck model number 8.1364x4 I purchased from your company earlier this year. This is the last time I would like to request a callback phone call, and I would hope you would call me on my mobile number today to stop any civil actions happening in the future to save us both time and effort and monies. Wishing you and all a very good day. Signed, Darren Hunt. Dear Mr. Parkin Coates, I acknowledge receipt of the correspondence from Motorcraft Adventure Developments Limited dated 14 July 2026. This letter serves as my final response before the matter is formally escalated to civil court proceedings and regulatory enforcement authorities. For the avoidance of doubt, this final notice strictly incorporates and references all items, structural defects, and mechanical faults detailed across all of my previous formal letters and letters of claim sent to Motorcraft at the start of this process. As previously specified, Motorcraft must collect this vehicle from my family home at your own absolute expense using your own low-loader lorry or transport vehicle, from the exact date that the vehicle arrives at your factory after being collected from my property. You have a strict, non-negotiable 30-day period to completely rectify every single issue and return the fully fixed vehicle safely back to my family home. All necessary work is clearly defined across my previous letters and is further proven by my engineering video on YouTube at the web link provided at the bottom of this notice. Regarding your serious code of conduct violations and case management, I note your internal decision to appoint Rob Dillon, head of operations, as your company's authorized representative. I must formally notify you that I will not communicate with Mr. Dillon under any circumstances. During a recorded telephone conversation, Mr. Dillon subjected me to severe verbal abuse, explicitly calling me a name and directly threatening me with physical violence. This highly unprofessional and illegal conduct has been fully documented, saved, and stored. It is currently being processed as part of formal criminal proceedings and a separate civil action against Mr. Dillon individually within the British court system. Because of these active criminal and civil matters regarding your representative, all future communications from your company must come directly from you, as the director, or through your appointed legal counsel. Any correspondence sent from Mr. Dillon's email address will be ignored and added to our evidence file. Regarding our financial due diligence and corporate responsibility, we have conducted comprehensive credit and financial background checks on the company and its leadership as part of our legal preparation. Our checks confirm that Motorcraft Adventure Developments Limited, alongside yourself as director, possess ample financial liquidity, whether through capital reserves or borrowing facilities, to fully fund the necessary engineering rectifications for this vehicle. We are therefore confident in the company's financial capability to meet any judgments awarded by the court. Conversely, our financial due diligence on Rob Dillon reveals an exceptionally poor personal credit rating. While this structural lack of creditworthiness is highly concerning for a corporate officer, it solidifies our decision to separate our legal strategies. We will pursue Motorcraft Adventure Developments Limited fully in the civil courts for corporate negligence, while simultaneously pursuing Mr. Dillon individually for his personal liabilities and criminal conduct. Here is the complete engineering and safety statement regarding the vehicle you built and sold to me. For the avoidance of doubt, the basis of our structural claim is supported by the following official technical evaluation. The vehicle features a factory-engineered flexible open C-channel ladder chassis designed for high torsional twist. To isolate the habitation box from these massive chassis forces, a builder must install an approved mounting configuration. This can be a 3-point or 4-point pivoting kinematic subframe, or alternatively, a standard longitudinal rail-to-rail subframe layout. However, if a rail-to-rail system is used, it is only acceptable under manufacturer guidelines if it is mounted solid exclusively at the rear end of the vehicle, with the remaining mounting points towards the front fully isolated via springs or torsion rubbers to allow the chassis to twist freely. Motorcraft completely failed to install any such isolation system, because you rigid mounted the entire build from front to back, locking the elastic chassis solid. The vehicle is highly dangerous. The severe kinetic stress placed on the chassis C-section rails will directly cause material fatigue, fracturing, and catastrophic splitting of the main chassis rails. Because a flexible ladder frame cannot safely absorb forces when locked completely rigid, this fracturing and splitting will occur whether the vehicle is driven off-road, down a country lane, or even on a standard tarmac highway. The director has admitted in writing that the vehicle completely lacks this vital flexible mounting or torsion system, meaning the vehicle actively violates the manufacturer's official assembly guidelines, fails basic road safety standards, and is entirely unfit for purpose. Regarding the definitive engineering failures and evidence of danger, your correspondent states that you dispute the factual assertions regarding the vehicle's engineering. However, the dangerous structural defects on this vehicle have now been conclusively verified by MAN Germany's technical team, MAN UK, and an independent commercial bodybuilder. The technical facts are absolute and verified by my video evidence. There is a complete absence of an insulated or kinematic mounting system, and Motorcraft completely failed to provide the necessary dynamic chassis isolation. Instead, your workshop installed a rail-to-rail frame that is fish-plated and bolted down solid over its entire length. Video evidence shows this subframe was amateurishly pieced together from two separate metal sections with visible gaps, then bolted rigidly to a flexible chassis. The paint is already shearing off due to intense, concentrated kinetic stress. This completely rigid mounting locks the chassis, creating an immediate risk of material fatigue, fracturing, and a catastrophic splitting of the main chassis rails on standard highways or off-road tracks. Your workshop has also recklessly covered the entire undercarriage and engine bay in thick, black chassis paint without masking critical components. Highly corrosive overspray has completely coated structural rubber bushes, bump stops, air lines, and gas lines. Furthermore, everything around the radiator system and the engine water system has been sprayed with this chassis paint. This paint is actively chemically deteriorating, drying out, and cracking all of these vital rubber and mechanical components. Because of this destructive chemical contamination, everything covered in your factory paint now needs to be completely stripped out and replaced to make the vehicle safe. This includes all fuel lines to the fuel tanks, all fuel lines connected to the engine, all cooling system components, and all contaminated air or gas lines. Your failure to mask these areas has caused the vehicle to lose air pressure and created a severe, ongoing mechanical risk. Furthermore, my video explicitly details a severe and life-threatening hazard concerning the dual LPG gas tanks. Your workshop has folded, welded, and fixed these gas tanks completely solid to the vehicle frame. Because the entire structure is locked rigid, the immense torsional kinetic stress from the chassis is transferred directly into the gas tanks and their mounting framework. This structural restriction creates an active risk of material fatigue, weld failure, and a catastrophic gas leak, which presents an extreme explosion and fire hazard wherever the vehicle is operated. To worsen this negligence, the video captures an open, unblanked, and completely exposed end of a gas pipe that has been left entirely unsealed instead of being properly blanked off. This setup is highly illegal and incredibly dangerous. Motorcraft has reportedly bought and sold this exact vehicle at least twice before selling it to me, meaning your company was fully aware of these existing gas tank installations. This vehicle should have never been put on the market, let alone sold on again in such an actively hazardous condition. Finally, there are additional catastrophic fire hazards. The fuel return feedback line was left hanging loose and unclipped, allowing it to rest directly against the engine block where it has begun burning away, resulting in pooling diesel across the top of the injectors. Furthermore, your workshop has connected the two main fuel tanks using an unshielded rubber hose that directly routes up and over the exhaust system. The extreme heat radiating from the exhaust creates an immediate risk of melting this balance line. If it fails, it will dump hundreds of liters of fuel directly over the road and hot exhaust parts, creating an active, explosive fire hazard wherever in the world this vehicle is driven. Regarding formal reporting to executive authorities, because Motorcraft has actively built and sold a vehicle that violates original manufacturer assembly guidelines, fails basic UK road safety standards, and is entirely unfit for purpose. This matter is no longer a simple commercial disagreement. The comprehensive engineering statements from MAN Germany, alongside full photographic and video logs of the defects, are being submitted directly to the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, also known as the DVSA or VOSA investigation team. The DVSA will be requested to investigate Motorcraft's vehicle alteration and export practices, as your factory is actively putting highly dangerous, non-compliant vehicles onto public roads. Regarding the breach of consumer law and reporting to trading standards, please be advised that because this vehicle was purchased within the last 6 months, it falls strictly under the protections of the Consumer Rights Act 2015. As documented by MAN Germany, the truck is fundamentally not fit for purpose and not of satisfactory quality. A formal complaint is now being logged with trading standards regarding Motorcraft's clear breach of consumer law and your ongoing refusal to rectify a dangerous asset. Under statutory guidelines for goods purchased under 6 months ago, the burden of proof rests entirely on your company to prove these severe structural defects were not present at sale, which is a legal defense that your own permanent welding modifications completely disprove. Regarding my intended financial and legal claims, my upcoming claim in the civil courts of England and Wales will seek the total costs required to completely strip, rebuild, and re-engineer the subframe to a safe standard. It will also seek full compensation to completely remove and replace all fuel lines, engine lines, radiator and water system components, all welded gas lines and unblanked pipework, and any other mechanical parts chemically damaged by your reckless chassis paint overspray, as well as fixing all mechanical failures. I will also claim maximum statutory interest, significant out-of-pocket expenses, and substantial damages for severe stress and disruption to my planned overland travel. As a final opportunity for resolution, this is your final opportunity to bypass immediate civil litigation, a criminal conduct prosecution against your staff, a formal trading standards action, and a DVSA safety investigation. If you do not confirm in writing, by 4 p.m. on 24 July 2026, that Motorcraft will collect this vehicle from my family home and fully fund its complete engineering rectification within the mandated 30-day turnaround timeframe from arrival at your factory, formal court proceedings will be issued without further notice. A copy of the public video detailing these severe structural failures remains active for engineering assessment purposes at the following web link address: https://youtube/edayqtfr0s?pwhzi4wxd0mkqhio. Yours sincerely, Darren Hunt. Dear Mr. Hunt, we acknowledge receipt of your latest correspondence. Motorcraft Adventure Developments Limited has carefully considered the matters you have raised. The company's position remains unchanged from that set out in its previous correspondence. At this stage, the parties clearly disagree on a number of factual matters. Repeating the same allegations does not alter Motorcraft's position. Should you obtain independent expert evidence that you believe is relevant to your allegations, or should your legal representative wish to correspond with the company, that correspondence will be considered in the usual way. Otherwise, Motorcraft does not intend to engage in further repetitive correspondence on matters where its position has already been clearly stated. As previously advised, I remain the company's authorized representative for this matter. Accordingly, any future correspondence should be sent exclusively to rob@motorcrafted.com. This is an internal case management decision to ensure the matter is handled consistently through a single point of contact. Correspondence sent to other Motorcraft email addresses may be redirected internally without separate acknowledgement. Should formal legal proceedings be commenced, Motorcraft will respond through the appropriate legal process. Yours sincerely, Rob Dillon, Head of Operations.
Right, where do we start? Bought this truck last year off Motorcraft, had a disagreement, got the money back in the end, bought it back again this year, and the habitation box was taken off of it. You know, looks lovely, does look lovely. Thought it was good for the money. You know, the fabrication work is lovely, but have a quick look round, quick look at the engine. everything's nice-ish, runs all right, all good. There's a story behind the gorilla tape, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And the fuel tank to the fuel tank, we'll talk about that in a minute. They make lovely fabricated stuff. I cannot say they don't make nice stuff. That's lets you get to the batteries when the habitation box is on, lets you get to the fuel. Big boxes they make in-house. There's the gas pickup points when it was connected, when they had a box on the back. The ladder system would have been in here, I would have thought. That's what that cutout's for. I don't know. I'm assuming that's where the ladder system went. Sorry about the noise of the rain, wind, sorry, and my breathing. So yeah, all good. All nice, lovely lights, all wired up, all done nice, waterproof boxes. Everything seems good. Take off a trailer, I'm assuming, or something else. I think it had a platform on the back with a winch thing goes up and down. That's what I think. I can't remember now. Anyway, box is all good. Wheels and tyres, okay. That's what I call the coffin box. You can climb inside there and you could go to sleep inside there, or you can get rid of the ex-wife in there and do what you want with her. Obviously not when she's alive, but take her to wherever she needs to go. Anyway, fuel tank connected to each other. Underneath, connected fuel lines. Right, here we go. Just give you a quick look underneath and then we'll go through it. Right, where do we start? Right, a big no-no is to put any paint on any plastic that feeds hydraulics, like here. Needs tweaking a little bit. It's leaking there a little bit, but right, so this is an aftermarket hydraulic ram to lift it up. Used to push them up by hand, I believe. Anyway, so here we go. Don't like doing this. Look at the cracks. Look at the cracks. You don't spray stuff which is rubber, right? You do not spray rubber, end of. This has all been sprayed. This is metal, actually. This is metal. So you're not meant to spray the metal tubes anyway for VOSA or DVSO or the MOT station. They like to see the original tubes without the paint on. But the paint is corrosive, so it can make the tubes deteriorate. There's quite a bit of oil there, but that's all right. That's not, at least that bit hasn't been painted, so it's better to have a bit of oil on it than paint anyway. So you definitely don't paint stuff because it cracks. If you go round to the radiator, even here, cracks. Every bit of rubber has been sprayed. All these pipes have been sprayed. You do not spray stuff. These pipes going down to the braking system, sprayed. It's not even a joiner. That's meant to be on there maybe, I don't know, keeping it away, but it's not connected. But look at it, look at the state of it, look at it. And it doesn't hold air, but I just assumed that was just part of what it was doing because it's old, you know. But everything's been sprayed. The rubber bushes, the bump stops, if you have a look, been sprayed, and they're all cracking. Because the spray paint, the chassis paint or whatever they've used, it deteriorates rubber. You can look it up, everything will tell you that. So everything that's rubber should be replaced. And the silly thing is, some of these are new. You can see they're quite new, and they sprayed them. They sprayed. So this is the hydraulic pump. This is going to the hydraulic pump ram. There we go. Right, where should we go? Fuel pipes sprayed. Electrical cables sprayed. Here we go. Gas pipes sprayed. That is one of the biggest no-nos in the world. You do not spray gas pipes. Look at it. You can see it all there. Right. Open valve over there going nowhere, but whatever. They're full up. I didn't want them anyway. So you don't spray. But if you have a look around, all the plastic pipes going everywhere have been sprayed. There's no reason for them to be sprayed. The new ones they've added in, after extras like wires, I suppose. There's a big, like an Anderson socket there, not sprayed. It's all been sprayed. But even the chassis wasn't rubbed down or grit blasted or ice blasted. It's been sprayed over the rust. If you look at this as well, this is just being picky really, but you could ice blast these, the springs. So the previous paint that was on there, it's been sprayed over. Yeah, just been sprayed over the top. But they've sprayed in the bushes. Everything's, instead of masking it up, the bushes have been sprayed. So they deteriorate. They're solid. So, you know, you can see. In time, that would eat away at gas pipes. If you Google it up, it'll tell you. Ask AI, ask anybody that knows about anything. You don't spray plastic. Right, plastic. Sprayed, sprayed, sprayed. Plastic, here again, air. Sprayed. Everything's been sprayed. It gets worse and worse and worse. Everything is peeling off, but it also eats into it. It deteriorates the rubber. You're not meant to spray the rubber pipes. End of. Look. There it is. There's brand new pipes under there, but instead of leaving them black, they've sprayed them with paint. But they're not meant to be sprayed. That was live as well. I'll just tape that up with Gorilla Tape. You can see, I'll put Gorilla Tape on there, that was live. So anyway, all the bushes have been sprayed, everything else. We'll go round. Anyway, everything that's got a bush has been sprayed. Sprayed, look, there he goes, the bush there. Rubber or nylon, no, rubber in it. Hard rubber, I think. Been sprayed. It's not meant to be sprayed. Rubber is not meant to be sprayed, yeah? No, there it is. Rubber, sprayed. Pipes. Some of them, yeah, they were sprayed. It's just come off, look. But look at the cracking. Look at the cracking on it. So no wonder it doesn't hold air. But I ain't too worried. It's not losing that much air. I was going to have a look at it another day. I haven't really used it a lot. I have tested it off ground. I tested it on a army assault course sort of thing. And tyre nearly blew off one of the rims, which I'll admit to that. And then I checked the tyre pressure that was on it after it had been delivered, and it was 120 psi, and they're meant to be 90. So we go down to here. These were left in. Thank you for leaving the cables and the fuses in. They're handy. But I shouldn't have had to Gorilla Tape them up because they were bare. They were bare. And this is metal, yeah? The case here is metal, bare metal. Well, sprayed metal, but you don't have live wires. It'll just arc out, yeah? It'll arc out. If you're going to disconnect something, put some tape on it, insulating tape or whatever, easy. Then put the lid back on. How do we go? Right, all these plastic pipes in there, all cracked because they've sprayed. Sprayed, 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 sprayed. And that's proper cracking. It's spraying. All the bump stops everywhere, sprayed. They're meant to be black rubber. They're not meant to be sprayed, right? It deteriorates the rubber. Sprayed, sprayed, down there sprayed. Here we go, look, sprayed, sprayed. Not even connected. It takes 2 seconds to connect that. Both sides are the same. So don't tell me I've disconnected them. They haven't been bothered to be put on. Look, they're meant to be brought away from there and put onto there. But you don't spray it. If you're going to spray a truck, you mask all this up with clear polythene or shrink wrap. Everything here, it's been sprayed. It's been sprayed, look at it, look at it, sprayed. All the radiator sprayed. That's the only bit I found so far that hasn't been sprayed. Maybe that bit as well. hasn't been sprayed. But plastic, there we go. Not plastic, rubber sprayed. Flexible rubber sprayed. Makes it deteriorate. Do your homework. Anything. But even the metal pipes, the fluid pipes, are not meant to be sprayed. They're meant to be left bare metal. Or you can buy them in different colours anyway. You're not just meant to spray like they've done. So all this has been sprayed. Yeah? All the rubber pipes have been sprayed. Sounds like I'm nitpicking, doesn't it? Right. We'll go round here. Under here. Bushes. Cracking. Cracking everywhere. Because they've been sprayed. They're sprayed. Yeah. Cracking. Radiator sprayed. Let's get under here. They did a lot of preparation here, didn't they? There's the old military stuff, and they just sprayed their thick paint on the top. Whatever, still protecting it, so I'm not going to moan about that. But if you go here, hose that feeds the bottom of the radiator, sprayed, deteriorating really quickly. Look at it. I can't crack it off because it's going to go in my eyes. They've sprayed everything, literally everything they can. Rubber around here, look. But you can actually see the cracks. Yeah, cracks. So that's your fan in there. You're not meant to spray all that. It's meant to be black rubber or a coloured rubber, whatever you choose. You put paint on it, the lifespan comes down and down and down. Sprayed again. Everything is bloody sprayed. It needs a whole lot going through. You know, they can make some nice stuff. The truck looks nice. Stainless, rusty. Bubbling up. Where is it? Bubbling up. Here we go. Where's my finger? I don't know why it's not filming. Where is it not filming? There. Look at that. There we go. Lovely. Lovely. Yes, the truck was sprayed a few years ago, but it's all starting to bubble up. Go to the doors. If you go down that one, he's okay. Go around this one. He's not okay. If I press that hard, all that paint's going to come off. It's all bubbling up underneath. You can see it all bubbling up. Yep, it's an old truck, 40 years old, but it's had a refurb. You don't spray all the pipes. Look at that, all the ducting. Look, oh, look at that, look. There you go. So they put actual, that's quite a new pipe, right? You can see it's quite a nice new pipe there because they've obviously altered this, the air box, and put a lovely stainless steel exhaust, breather on the stainless steel breather, going down to the air box for wading. But they've sprayed it all, and paint eats rubber. It doesn't really eat the metal, but paint eats rubber. End of. So it needs all replacing. What's been sprayed needs all replacing. Then we go to the torsion, the kinetic, or whatever you want to call it, rail-to-rail system. Nice and bent there. Right, it's pointless putting these springs on here. Absolutely pointless, right? I spoke to a man in Germany. They said the stress point is here. The chassis is a rail ladder chassis. The chassis is meant to flex. It's made of special metal. It flexes. Look at MAN VW 8.136, or they GS90s, or they're also called MAN VW 8.150. It's just a different horsepower, right? So you can spray that, okay, but don't spray all the pipe work. Right, we go here, breathing pipe here, going up through, which is all frayed off. Well, we're leaking diesel anyway, right? So that goes up round here. Where is it? Can't even get hold of it now. goes in here. There it is, right. There it is there. Look at it, right? Pull it out. Look at it. It's been touching the engine block, right? The feedback for the diesel. Look at it. Look at it. It's been burning away on the engine block, or the engine itself. Look. Just pull it off. Look. There's no reason that couldn't be just clipped, brought round, clipped round here, out of the way. I probably will clip it onto there. Try and keep it away from the heat, yeah? I know the pipes get hot, but not as much as the metal itself. After a couple of hours driving, you get puddles of diesel all the way along the top here, where the injectors are. I haven't found out where it's leaking yet, but it's leaking somewhere there. But yeah, sprayed. Fed up of saying it, really. Anyway, we go back to this. So this is a frame which a habitation box would have fitted on. It's all bolted up the other side. Well, oh no, it's not actually. It's missing the bolts. So it's got 3 bolts on the bottom. These bolts are missing. Those bolts are missing. There's no reason for them bolts to be missing. And then it's solid fish plated here. Solid onto that. So when the chassis twists or tries to twist, this frame they've put on top, which they would have called a rail-to-rail system. I can't call it a kinetic system because I don't believe it is. You can see, bolted solid. Instead of having one piece of metal all the way along, which makes sense if it's going to carry any torsion or springness, they've added 2 bits of metal. Put a plate across. There you go. See the gap in the bottom there. See the gap in the bottom there. Where we go? Just there. And in the top. So, yeah. Looks like they've added 2 pieces together. And since we've been using it, the paint's coming off here, so obviously there's stress coming up from somewhere, because this spray paint on here is starting to come off on its own, which it wasn't when I got it. And these are fish plates bolted down solid. Spoke to a man in Germany. Yes, you bolt it down solid at the rear. At the rear. And it should be sprung. They make nice boxes. Did I tell you they make nice boxes? And they put nice LED lights on and they wire it up quite nice. That would have been a wear of winches. They put a nice dual right camera on it. There we go. Anyway, did I mention they make nice boxes? Because they do. If you want boxes, they fabricate these in the shop. All different sizes. They can do tailor-made as well. Extra cost, but the prices are fair, I think, for the amount of workmanship that goes into it. So this frame is absolutely useless. If you put a habitation box on the top of here, the stress is going to go into the habitation box, but also the stress in the chassis is even more important. Yes, your habitation box is going to start splitting and flexing. It's going to try to flex and it's going to crack and then split. But you do not bolt a frame on top of a flexible ladder rail chassis made by M&M and stiffen it up. You just don't do it. You don't do it. I've just realised something else as well. On my MAN, I got another one. I got a newer version of this, which I went to the older version because the newer version plays up. But you don't spray everything. If you look through there, there's a rubber bush. Where is it? Is it there? No. There it is there. It's all been sprayed and the paint's coming off of it again. It's like a shot brush. Here, all the pipes sprayed. Sprayed. It's bonkers. This has been done nice strengthener. Could do with some of them. But these are brand new pipes and they sprayed them. When they fitted the hydraulic ram aftermarket. Right. Let's just make a visual. Take a screenshot because that'll be the chassis number. It's always handy to have, isn't it? Take a couple of screenshots of that. And we'll take a screenshot of that because that's handy to have. I forgot about something to mention earlier. About under here. I'm getting too old for this. Oh, yeah. Right. Here we go. Pinion seal or whatever. There we go. So in there, nice and wet there, look, it's leaking. That ain't just happened. I can't quite work out what they've been doing here. Something's been going on because new bolt, old bolt, new bolt, old bolt, new bolt, old bolt, new bolt, old bolt, new bolt, old bolt. Why wouldn't you just, if you're going to change them all? The same on there. New and old, new and old. Hold on, let's have a look. Yeah, new and old. Anyway, there's one more thing. I don't know if I can get there. We've got air coming out of there, so that's okay. I just hit my head on that. There's one more thing. I forgot. I have to get up there, I suppose. When we had the cab tilted up earlier, bloody too old. Be glad when I'm in Africa. We were meant to be driving this to Africa end of the summer. But if we ever get there, I don't know. Right, I don't know how to get under here. When we tilted the cab up earlier, they put an extra seat out of a HX60 in here, I think. Not sure, I'm just going to try and squeeze my feet in there. I don't think I can get underneath. Fuck. Anyway, when they bolted the seat down, they didn't even do the bolts up. So I'm trying to show you, if possible. I don't know if we can see. I'm going to try and slide the phone in. Is there a what do you call it? A flash. I don't know. I'll try and slide. This is killing me back and me legs. Fuck. Excuse me language. Right. Right, there's the bolts. Might not have to zoom. Right, let's see if we can zoom in. Right, no. Let's see if we can go. Right, look. It's not even done up. Right, that one's done up tight. Right, that one is done up tight. That one, it's got fresh air above it. It's loose, you can see the thread. I can't get him no further. I can't tilt the cab up again. I'm knackered. Like you say, nice and split because things have been sprayed. Everything's been sprayed. Even the brand new stuff has been sprayed, which is bonkers. Why would you do that? Why would you not just leave it all new? Just fuck me back. Excuse me language. That's brand new bit of paper, bit of plastic rubber under there, sprayed. You know, they do make a nice job. Look at that for a snorkel. It's even off a man lorry. There we go. You know, the welding is beautiful. It's beautifully done. Same with the exhaust. If you have a look here, you know, that takes some doing. That's done in such small sections there. It's beautiful. It's absolutely lovely. It's a shame there's just these cock-ups, but they're major. So whether we will get to Africa this year, I don't know. It was a one-way ticket anyway. They'll be glad I'm gone. But I ain't going anywhere till this is sorted out. You know, that's all plastic. Look at it. Completely sprayed. All you have to do is wrap it up with cling film before you spray it. You know. Here we go. What are we on here again? Is that... What one's that one? That's going under there. That's going under there. That's going there. That's going under there. Oh, that's the fuel. So even sprayed the fuel. That's bonkers. Absolutely fucking well, I don't mean to swear, sorry. It goes along there. Let's see if we can trace that one along. There he is there. It's not fuel, is it? I don't know. I'm bloody too knackered. Let's have a look. There he is. Going under there. Here's the fuel one. Hey, no, never. Let's go and have a look. Hey, let's have a quick jump down. Oh. Well, that explains it. We're not close to the exhaust at all, are we, fuel pipe? Look, touching. There you go. Fuel pipe. Look at this. More bonkers. I'll clip that out of the way. I'll pull that. That's why it's not equalising out. If you're going to put that in, you can't go up and over without a pumping system, really, to meet the other tank. And there it goes right round. Where are we going? There's the pipe going into the other tank. There. Anyway, enough's enough, I'm knackered.